Hi everyone, this is the video that goes along with online work number 33. We are going to spend this week and part of next week talking about volume. We're definitely in the home stretch, only a few weeks left, so let's finish strong. This is, everything we're doing right now is stuff that you will need to know for 8th grade, so make sure you are watching the videos, taking the work seriously, and letting me know if you need help. Remember things that we talked about last week. Good video watching means you're not just watching the video, but you are taking notes, writing things down, trying things with me, rewinding if you missed something or didn't understand something, and try to listen to it again and see if it makes sense. And then, of course, asking me for help when things come up that you don't understand. So first of all, let's make sure we understand a rectangular prism, by the way, is just a box, just a fancy word for a box. And volume always talks about the number of cubic units. That's important. It's how many cubes it takes to fill a figure. The number of cubic units needed to fill a three-dimensional figure. So important things there. It's always cubic units, and it's always talking about filling something three-dimensional, like filling a sandbox with sand or filling a pool with water. Anytime you are filling something, that's volume. Now, let me position this so that you can see me. There we go. So make sure you realize these cubes, hopefully you remember them from the classroom, these are cubic inches, and the reason they're cubic inches is because every side of them measures 1 inch. I don't know if some of you remember the teeny tiny cubes I have in the classroom. They were cubic centimeters because every side was just a centimeter. You could have a cubic foot where each side of it would measure a foot. That'd be a really big cube. But volume talks about how many cubes it takes to fill something. So I have here a box, a rectangular prism, and certainly if we wanted to know how many cubic inches it would take to fill the box, I could certainly stack all these cubes up and count them all, but that would be really time consuming. So I want you to look at what I did here. I know it's a little bit hard to see. Let's see if I can make that a little bit better for you. I lined up the cubes lengthwise and widthwise. And what I found was I could get 10 cubes lengthwise and 8 cubes widthwise. So that means I could get 8 rows of 10 cubes across the bottom. Well, 8 rows of 10, that's just 80. That means I could get 80 cubes just in the bottom of the box. But obviously I could get more than one layer of 80 in there. So then we find the height. And look at that, I can get 3, it's hard to see, but I could get 3 cubes tall in there, so that means I could get 3 layers of 80. And 3 times 80 is 240. So I know most of you already realize or already remember that the formula for volume of a box is length times width times height. Make sure you write that down, especially if you don't know it. Length times width times height. But I wanted to make sure that you understood why. The length times the width, that was my 10 times my 8. That tells me how many would fit across the bottom. I had 8 rows of 10 that could fit across the bottom of the box. That's the area of the bottom of the box. And then I multiply that by the height by 3 because I could get 3 layers of 80 in there. 10 times 8 times 3 is 240 cubic inches. That's how many cubes would fit in my box. Now, obviously, we're not going to line up cubes in boxes every time we want to find the volume, but I wanted you to understand why, to find the volume, it's length times width times height. So let's say on this box here, I had a length of 6 centimeters, a width of 3 centimeters, and a height of 5 centimeters. And I want to find the volume. All I have to do is length times width times height. Now, lots of times people will say to me, how do I know which is the length, which is the width, which is the height? Honestly, it really doesn't matter. You're just multiplying the 3 dimensions together, so you can multiply it in any order and you'll get the right answer. But the length is usually the long side, the 6th. The width is usually the shorter side, which is 3. Obviously, the height is 5. Now realize that 6 times 3, that 18, that's how many cubic centimeters would fit on the bottom of the box. And then we multiply it by 5 because I could get 5 layers of 18 cubes in there. 6 times 3 is 18. 18 times 5 is 90. I could get 90 cubic centimeters in that box, or 90, oops, let me move this so you can see a little bit, or 90 centimeters cubed. I hope that helps you with today's work. Remember, the volume of a box is just length times width times height. If you have any questions, please shoot me a message. Have a great day.